2, 3, 4.
Problem with courts these days that I see is that people don't see them for what they really are. I was raised to respect authority, follow the authority, and do as they say. And I think most people are brought up that way. What I've learned, though, is that authority is based 100% on our consent to being governed. And I found a Supreme Court ruling that says that the consent of the governed is a foundational principle of democracy. Now, what's consent? Does that imply that you have a choice whether you're going to agree to that or not? And I would suggest that the answer is yes. So we all have free will choice to consent to being governed. When we do that, then we've given them permission to use their authority over us. So when we used our free will to apply for or register for something, we gave them permission to create a corporation to interact between the man and the system. And it's that corporation that the system acts upon. But because we don't know who we are, we assume or we think that that is us. So when you take a look at your credit card or take a look at your driver's license or your birth certificate or any of that kind of stuff, a lot of people, and including myself, thought that that was actually me. And that's not true. So when the courts are acting upon it, all they can really act upon is the corporation. And the only reason they can act upon the man is because we agree to be the representative of that corporation and bind ourselves to the terms and conditions of that agreement. But we can say no at any time.
Give the public the facts. They have a right to know. Got it?
If you have those documents, such as licenses, registrations, permits, applications, that is your consent to being governed by certain guidelines, regulations, acts, stipulations, laws within that corporation, because you are asking for a service and they're saying, okay, as long as you follow these rules. If you signed any of those contracts which are represented by a legal fiction set up in your name, then you yourself are bound by those rules, bound by those regulations, because you did that. You consented to being governed by that. So in order to remove yourself from that, you have to dissolve those contracts. Sometimes they make it seem mandatory that you must comply, and it's just the language that's being used. That's one thing you want to become very wary of, is the language that they use.